Bell Laboratories has been around for a long time. They were officially established in 1925, but some of their research dates all the way back to 1885. Bell Labs has been called the most innovative scientific organization in the world. They were initially started to develop better telephone technology for AT, and the first notable discovery from Bell Labs was the theory of loading coils. This technology allowed them to extend telephone lines farther than ever before. Bell Labs has made many other discoveries that include the transistor, the first transatlantic telephone cable, the first modem, and digital cell phone technology. To work at Bell Labs you must have a master's degree for an entry-level engineering position and a bachelor's degree for an engineering tech position. Bell Labs has been awarded 32,031 patents and 15,000 of those patents are currently active. Jan Shawn began working at Bell Labs in 1998. Upon his arrival at Bell Labs, Shawn studied electric charge conduction through organic crystals. The goal was to create semiconductors as well as organic field effect transistors. Shawn's results included seeing the materials act as insulators, semiconductors, metals and superconductors. Higher quantum numbers than ever seen in inorganic material. Higher superconductor temperatures than what was believed to be possible, and the material could act as a laser as well as novel superconducting switches. As Shawn's work became more well known, many research labs began to attempt to replicate his results. None were successful due to the lack of procedure in Shawn's articles. Shawn published approximately 100 papers in 3 years, which is astonishingly higher than the average 2 to 3 papers published per year for most scientists. In 2001, 2 articles published by Shawn were found to contain identical background noise on the graphs. This led to Shawn submitting a new graph for the article. Months later, the newly submitted graph was found in a different article relating to a different breakthrough. This duplication led Bell Labs to investigate Shawn's research. The investigation discovered that he had used computer formulas to produce the graphs. They later discovered that Shawn had deleted all primary data due to a lack of storage. The committee charged Shawn with 16 counts of scientific misconduct, and determined that Shawn's co-authors had no knowledge of the fake data and results. This was the first ever case of fraud in Bell Labs history.
Bell Labs fell under severe scrutiny. It was determined that many individuals claiming to co-author the papers never saw any of the experiments or data. It was also determined that papers coming from Bell Labs were not as heavily reviewed. Since Bell Labs was known for strong work, the papers were easily published without criticism. Eventually the co-authors were exonerated. It was found that they were not truly aware that the fraud was happening. However, Shawn was not as lucky. Shawn was immediately fired upon the discovery of the fraud. His actions came as a huge surprise to his co-workers. Many of his papers were pulled from top journals. Physics Review removed all of his work, and the journal, Nature, removed 7 major articles. Even more surprising, his PhD from the University of Konstanz was revoked. He appealed this several times, but the German government has since backed the university's decision. The DFG, which provides funding to German researchers, revoked his fellowship. He is no longer able to receive funding or peer review papers. Shawn cannot perform any more research. Shawn has never since returned to independent research. He now works at an engineering firm in Germany.
When we look at how Dr. Shawn acted, we have to analyze the factors that may have contributed to his actions and how the scientific community can help prevent future incidents. Bell Labs may have been a victim of their own success. As market competition increased, funding for research declined. This led to more pressure on the researchers. As the pressure for quality results increased, Dr. Shawn, in his distress, may have acted unethically to please his superiors. Regardless of that, his peers, co-authors on papers, and supervisors all mistakenly accepted his claims as fact, without seeing the actual experiment or even reliable results. Bell Labs should have required an in-depth peer review process, and required co-authors to at least witness the experiment that led to the scientific findings. Maybe, something as simple as have a minimum waiting period between publication for a single author could have at least given the community time to investigate Dr. Shan's findings. Also, data must be retained to authenticate your claims. No data, no credit. It is as simple as that.